Information station, AM 1440, KUHL, Santa Maria.
Good morning, 7:34, Information Now, and I'd like to welcome back to the program. She was here actually a couple of years ago, and how time flies. So I have Elizabeth Fields, and she's an author. She's done a lot of writing in the horror genre, mystery genre type thing, and she's got a new project and also a movie in pre-production and some book signings coming up. So we're going to try to bring you up to date on everything that's been going on in her life. I do have Elizabeth Fields with us in studio. Elizabeth, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, first of all, before we talk about your current project called Still in the Shadows, you were actually raised here on the Central Coast in Los Alamos, right?
Yes, I born and raised right here. I love this little area. Los Alamos has actually grown up quite a bit. Every time I come back, I'm amazed at how much it's grown.
It's getting bigger, yeah.
I think about 5 years ago, I came back and saw the crosswalk there, and I thought, wow, we got a fancy crosswalk finally.
Well, so you've been doing some writing now for how long?
Oh, since I could hold a pen, or I guess a crayon rather. When I was little, I used to put together picture books that I would illustrate myself and make little stories to go along with them. And about 15 years ago, I wrote my first novel, and it went well, I suppose, as far as writing it, but I didn't get picked up right away. So it took me about 7 years to get a publisher. And once I did that, I thought about maybe doing the business side of it. Writing is one thing, getting yourself published is another thing. Sure. But then I thought, why not try the publishing side and see what that's like too? So with my next project, I went ahead and self-published and went through all the editing and stuff on my own, did the cover art, and it was a whole other process. It was so much fun, and I think that I actually, not that I prefer it, but I really enjoy that. So
you like doing your own publishing?
Yes.
So how many books have you written now?
I have 4 that are published.
Okay. And so tell me about the stories. I mean, for our listeners out there, if they've not read any of your books, what is your background? What do you write about?
Good question. I have 2 that are young adult. One of them is a thriller and the other one's a drama. The genre that I hold near and dear for whatever reason is horror. So I have 2 horror collections that are published. The latest one is Still the Shadows. And I really enjoy the short story form. So that book actually has 4 stories. They're all completely different. I have everything from vengeful spiders to a new take on vampires. I promised myself that I would never do vampires or werewolves, which I haven't done wolves yet,
right,
unless I could figure out something new. And it's something new.
All right. So check it out. It's called Still the Shadows. You're actually making the rounds here on the Central Coast doing some book signings, right?
Yes, I am.
All right. Now, I think you were in San Luis Obispo yesterday.
Yes, I was. I went to Charlie's Place. If you haven't been there, please go. The food is amazing. I also went to Santa Cruz. I was at Atlantis Fantasy World, which is this fantastic comic book store. Now, this coming Wednesday, I will be at Charlie's in Los Alamos from 5 to 7. And then I will be at the bookstore in Lompoc on Thursday from 4 to 6. And then we have the Bookworm here in Santa Maria on Friday from 5 to 7. And then we're going to Casa Dumet's Wines in Los Alamos on Saturday from 1 to 5.
So you got a busy schedule.
I do. I'm excited.
All right, we have Elizabeth Fields with us in studio. By the way, I wanted to mention the website that I've got is elizabethfields.net. Is that a good place to go?
It is. There's tons of information there. And if you didn't catch all those signings, there's a schedule.
Absolutely, along with the addresses. But again, starting Wednesday, Elizabeth is going to be at Charlie's, as she mentioned there. That's going to be at 185 Bell Street in Los Alamos from 5 until 7 p.m. But again, that entire schedule is on Elizabeth's website. So you've written a number of books, and I guess you're kind of moving now from books to movies. You've got a movie in pre-production.
I do. I'm so excited. We have taken 5 of the stories from each of the horror books. So I have Don't Let Them In and Still the Shadows. The title of the film currently is Don't Let Them In. So if you look it up on IMDb, that's what it will say. It might change, but updates will be, of course, on my website. We've taken 5 stories from each. 3 and 2. So we have an anthology that I've written the screenplay for, and we are currently in pre-production. There's basically a story for everyone there. There's something for everyone to like and connect to. So
we got to leave the lights on for this one, right?
Basically, yeah. You don't want to watch in the dark. Don't watch it alone. We have a really great start to something pretty special, I think. We have some really cool people on board. Actor-wise, I have Brandon Fobbs. He was on The Wire, The Walking Dead. I have Brandy Rackley. She's amazing. Jessica Morris from One Life to Live, and role models. So it's pretty exciting.
So in terms of a time frame, when are we going to see this on the big screen or TV or?
Oh, we're banking on the big screen. So we should hopefully have everything. We're going to start production here early summer. We'll be filming in Boise, Idaho, and we're hoping to have everything wrapped up by the end of summer. And we're planning on being able to release this early 2016.
All right, that sounds wonderful. Well, hopefully you can come back and give us an update so when we can check it out there on the big screen.
I would love to.
So, Elizabeth, what is it about horror? I'm also a horror movie fanatic. You know, whenever there's a horror movie out, I got to run and go see it. So what is it about horror for you that you really like?
There's something primal about it. I think that I just really enjoy being scared, which is maybe a little crazy,
Right.
but I've always liked that. We used to have slumber parties when we were little, and I would make my friends watch scary movies. I don't know if they wanted to or not, but we did. And some of them ended up, under the covers and they couldn't watch, but I was just glued to the television. It's just something so fascinating about the dark side of people, about other worlds, just the idea of demons on Earth. I mean, it's completely fascinating, and I've always been enthralled with these dark things. I mean, it's hard to explain because I'm not a dark person.
Yeah, I'm with you. As long as I'm being scared from something on the screen that can't hurt me in person, then I'm okay with it.
Right. But of course, my ideas come from somewhere, so there's got to be a little bit of dark in me. Actually, a lot of bit of dark in me somewhere, because I mean, pretty much I write my worst fears and my nightmares. I just put them down on paper.
And that's what you're going to find in Still the Shadows. So check it out. And before we wrap up, anything else you'd like to mention about any other projects you're working on right now?
I'm actually working on my very first full-length horror novel. I'm still working on the follow-up to How I Spent My Summer Vacation also. It's going to follow Elle through a whole different period of life. So that's something to look forward to. It's a young adult novel.
All right. Where do you find time to write? I mean, you're working on the movie already, and then you just make time, I guess, right?
You have to make time.
Yeah.
I fit it in wherever I can. There's a lot of late nights and early mornings. So
Well, that's usually when the most horrific things happen, usually in movies.
sleep when you're dead. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. Well, anyway, it is called Still the Shadows. And of course, also we're hearing about this movie in pre-production. And don't forget to look for Elizabeth at the book signings starting Wednesday. That's going to be at Charlie's in Los Alamos at 185 Bell Street, 5 until 7 p.m. Other ones coming up at the bookstore in Lompoc on Thursday, 4 to 6 p.m. Friday at the Bookworm. That's on East Betaravia Road, 5 until 7 p.m. So that'll be on Friday. And then Saturday, 1 to 5 p.m. That will be at Casa Dumet's Wines on Bell Street in Los Alamos. And don't forget, Elizabeth, your website is elizabethfields.net. So we look forward to seeing you here on the Central Coast.
Yes, thanks. I'm excited to be here.
And please come back and let us know what you're working on next.
Absolutely.
All right. Elizabeth Fields has been my guest. Thanks for the time today.
Thank you.
It's going to bring us here to 742 AM 1440 KUHL. Phone lines open for you.